Revelation chapter 9 verse 12. We saw the first woe, and we read here, one woe is past, which is the fifth trumpet, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. It's getting pretty bad here on earth for those people that stayed behind. And this is just the first 3.5 years of the Great Tribulation. This is not even the second 3.5 years, which is going to be even worse. And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before God. Now, I want to point out the fact that the incense comes from the golden altar in the tabernacle, okay? The altar is where the sacrifices were done. In heaven there is an altar. Remember that the souls were under the altar. But then there is the incense, which is in the golden altar, okay? And the incense that came up was our prayers, okay? So it's interesting that the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before God. So it just makes me wonder why that is. Why is the voice coming from the four horns of the golden altar? Anyway, the voice says, saying to the sixth angel, which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. Now, my opinion is that when the sixth angel is told by this voice, saying to the sixth angel, which had the trumpet, so it's being said to this sixth angel to loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. It is my opinion that these four angels are bad angels that have been bound there, and that when they are loosed, they're going to bring havoc to this earth. It's going to be, okay, from my opinion, it's going to be World War III. Verse 15. Okay, and the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour, a day, a month, and a year. It's a specific time, so specific that it goes down to the hour. Okay, so they were prepared for an hour, a day, a month, and a year, for to slay the third part of men. They're coming to bring destruction. Not just to damage the earth, but to literally slay or kill the third part of men. When the trumpets happen, they affect a third part of men on the earth. The bowls of wrath affect pretty much the whole earth, okay? Verse 16, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000 thousands, and I heard the number of them. Now in the King James it says, now the number of the army of the horsemen was 200 million. 200 million. Going back to the King James Version here. Now that proves to us that we're living in the last days. Because until this days, you know, you could hardly make an army with 200 million soldiers. Now we do know that if you put Russia and China together, which I believe they're going to be involved in this war, that they will have 200 million soldiers, okay? And that's not, if you also include those that they're going to fight, then, you know, the other armies that will fight against these armies will, you know, come to a total of 200 million soldiers. Revelation 9:17, and thus I saw the horses in the vision, and I believe, by the way, the horses to be probably some form of tanks, okay? And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions. By the way, I used to drive a Bradley infantry fighting vehicle, and it's a tank, a form of kind of like a tank, and you know, it reminds me a lot of this. And out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. See, when you look at a tank and you look at the barrel of the tank, you're going to have fire coming out of it. If John's looking at this, smoke and brimstone, things that are severe, things that are dangerous. By these three, fire, smoke, and brimstone, was the third part of men killed. See? By the fire, which makes sense. By the smoke it is saying that the smoke is coming from the fire, or is the smoke some kind of chemical weapon that's being thrown at people? It could be. And by the brimstone. So all these explosions that John is probably seeing, he's trying to describe to the best of his ability back in that day, which issued out of their mouths. And that makes sense. It comes out of their mouths. For their power is in their mouth and in their tails. Some tanks have, can shoot, from a lot of different places. From the turret, you have the main gun, and you also have other guns that even soldiers can be inside the tank, like in the Bradley, and shoot out from them, from the sides and even from the back. For their tails were like unto serpents, and had heads, and with them they do hurt. Okay, once again reminds me of a Bradley tank that I used to drive. And the rest of them, of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of their works of their hands, that they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and of wood, which neither can see nor can hear nor walk, neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. Something that should be highlighted here and be pointed out very clearly is that this is happening right before the Antichrist comes to power. The Antichrist is going to have power the last 3.5 years. And if you notice that these events are happening in the first 3.5 years, and guess what? It does not mention the Antichrist, does it? The rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not. They did not repent of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils, okay? Like they do today. Satanists, even on YouTube, there's some Satanists. Idols of gold, people still to this day worship idols of gold and silver and brass, and stone. You see them worshiping those statues, and wood, which neither can see. They don't have eyes, nor could hear nor walk. Neither repented they of their murders, so they're going to continue being evil, nor of their sorceries. You so many Wiccans and sorcerers today, it's amazing. The wickedness on this earth has gotten worse and worse. Nor of their fornication. You see so much sexual immorality today, so much, everywhere. Sexual immorality, men with men, women with women, even with animals. Just, a lot of evil sexual immorality happening today. Nor of their thefts. A lot of people still stealing. So once again, this is the second woe. It's severe, and it kills a third part of men, and it's going to happen in the great river Euphrates, which, by the way, is in Iraq. And my opinion is, brothers and sisters, that what's going to happen is that they're going to fight. As we pull our soldiers out of Iraq, here soon we're pulling our soldiers out of Iraq, they're going to go fight for that oil. This is my opinion. Russia and China could probably go to Iraq, where the great river Euphrates is, okay? But whatever the reason is, the fact is that the four angels that will be loosed are the ones that are going to put in the minds of those people to go to the great river Euphrates there and have this war, which is going to kill a third part of men here on earth. It's going to be horrible. It's going to happen in a specific hour that God knows. So this is the second woe, the sixth trumpets. God bless you.